So it's genetics plus recent environment plus average environment over the past several weeks that is all going to spill into, in a given person on a given day, how much of the acetaminophen gets turned into NAPQI. But like if you just take the average population, it's just sort of like a predictable drip stream out of the difference.
Yeah.
So it's more like, it's not like a toxic dose allowed you to make some of that. It's just that you took more of it, and so you wound up with more of it.
Yeah. And so, one more point I want to make here that you mentioned is no new information has actually come out. This announcement was basically just bringing attention to this whole area. These are all everything that you just mentioned. These are all things that we've known for quite some time. Many people have argued, or at least some people have argued, that Tylenol might have a link to autism via glutathione depletion and oxidative stress. There's no direct evidence proving that for an absolute fact, and people argue about it. But there's really no new information here. We're talking about stuff that's already been known.
Yeah, it is, but it does make a big difference that the government is going to start looking at it. But again, I don't know what Kennedy has on his desk, but I can tell you for sure there's all sorts of hidden data, because firing all the people who are running the CDC now allows us to go and look at the CDC data that they've been hiding, because the CDC keeps its own data. And it's sort of like a good old boy network is, I don't know if it's even the right word. It's more like an exclusive club that's invite only. So you cannot. Most other public data, like NHANES, for example, the National Health and Examination Nutrition Survey, they do this every in cohorts. They measure all kinds of stuff about nutritional intake in Americans. And then they make the data set public. And if you're a researcher, you can go download the NHANES data, and you are, they made the data, but you are analyzing it. And so it's just like an open source where there are many people that will publish papers on the NHANES data, not because they generated any of it, but because they did a new novel analysis. And so their contribution was they came up with a hypothesis about correlations that could be found in the data. The CDC has all kinds of data where the only way you can analyze it is to get someone in CDC to invite you to analyze it. And so, to say that there's nothing new, like there absolutely is tons of CDC data that could be reanalyzed, and we have no idea if we know it until we know it.
Yeah.
So I would not rule out that they have data behind the scenes.
Right. That they've seen that nobody else has.
Seen. Right.
Yeah. Interesting. I want to spend quite a bit of time talking about SSRIs. Obviously, these are widely prescribed and widely used. You've written a fascinating series on these. Let's perhaps start with just some of the basics of serotonin itself. I think when most people hear the term serotonin, whether it's a layperson or someone educated on the stuff, they think the brain, they think about mood, they think about, those types of things. It's far from the full picture when it comes to serotonin.